Guramagat Cihirloch. And Minister, thank you for coming to the House today. And I want to thank and commend Senator Norris for this piece of legislation, which I, on behalf of the Fianna Fáil party in the Seanad, will be supporting, and urging you, Minister, and indeed the Government to support and to adopt. Senator Norris, this is a labour of love. This comes from the heart. This is not a dead, boring piece of legislation or just words on paper. This is really coming from a person who not just knows our city, knows our heritage, but loves it. Absolutely loves and values and cherishes it. And in this legislation, Senator Norris, I believe, is seeking to get the state to demonstrate the same passion, commitment and love for our built heritage. And he comes from my part of the world, from Dublin Central, specifically from the North Inner City, and specifically North Great Georgia Street, where he lives, and adjacent to it. He is sandwiched right between Parnell Square and Mountjoy Square. And Mountjoy Square is the most perfect of the Georgian squares in Dublin. We have 5 in Dublin, but Mountjoy Square is actually architecturally the most perfect. It is equal in size on each of the 4 sides. It stands at a height above the Customs House, and it's linked to the Customs House with Gardner Street. I know it's at a height because when I try to cycle out from here, I feel it. But I'm getting better at that. But Luke Gardner, when he conceived it, he was one of, if he was alive today, he'd be pilloried, he would be a developer, he'd be a builder, he'd be somebody that we would, he would draw the wrath of the populace. But Luke Gardner conceived it, and it dates back to 1790. It is a gem. It's not just architecturally a gem, but it is a living gem in terms of the biodiversity, but the human activity and the human diversity. It is the nations of the world meet at Mountjoy Square. This Sunday, there will be Soulful Sunday, and gospel choirs from all over the city are going to converge on Mountjoy Square, and that will be another reason to visit. But to return to the legislation, we as a city, and I don't say this to just, point the finger at Dublin City Council or other authorities, but I do think we need to be honest about the fact that we could have done a lot better in protecting our built heritage. We can do an awful lot better at protecting our built heritage. Not just conserving it, but actually ensuring that it is sustained into the future, for future generations to experience as well. Our built architecture, our built heritage is what makes Dublin City unique. And while I spend most of my time urging new building, and particularly new building of homes, and they need to be built to the modern standards, our rich built heritage is so precious, and it is so fragile, and in far too many instances, it has been neglected. And it's neglected for a whole myriad of reasons. Some of them are really unique to each individual built property. It can be to do with ownership, it can be to do with the financial situation of the owners, it can be to do with a whole myriad of issues, as I say. But if we truly believe that our built heritage is of value, and if we truly want to demonstrate as a country and as a nation a commitment to it, then we need to legislate to protect it. We need to legislate to conserve it, and we need to legislate to ensure that it is sustained into the future. So, Minister, I'm sure, and I apologise, I wasn't here for your earlier opening remarks, but I presume that you will advise the House that there is a bigger piece of work, which I absolutely support, in terms of a review of our overall planning structures, and I accept and support that. But when the Government deals with the review and the reform of our planning processes and our planning structures, they need to take a very distinct look at and actions on conservation specifically of our built heritage. They need to ensure that there are experts who are empowered to use their expertise, to use their knowledge, to serve all of us, to preserve our built heritage. They need to ensure that there are powers in place to actually enforce the protections and to prosecute those who abuse and vandalise and destroy, because there are far too many of those experiences out there. Minister, I look forward to your remarks. I really urge you and the government to accept this bill, to support this bill, and to bring it forward and make it a reality. Guramagat.